Welcome back, this is Wesley from AerialMediaPros.com, and as you can see today we got our hands on the brand new Phantom 3 from DJI. Now there's been a lot of questions surrounding the release of the Phantom 3 in regards to how it stands as a definite improvement from the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, but also how it compares, of course, to the Inspire 1. In order to answer all these questions, in this video we're going to be walking through the best features and the most important improvements that we think you need to know as you consider the Phantom 3. So let's get started with the first, which is price. Now before its release, most people assumed that the Phantom 3 would include many of the same features and or shared applications with the Inspire 1. But because of those added features, it would come at a higher price point to the consumer, somewhere between $1,300 to $1,500. But what's amazing about what DJI has done here is they have packed many of the features found in the Inspire 1 into this copter, while actually lowering the entry-level cost of a Phantom Vision Series copter. Now before we get too deep into price, let's cover some of the basics of the Phantom 3. I'm actually going to move over the Phantom 2 here for a second as to not be confusing, because when they released the Phantom 3, they actually released it with two models or versions. The copter I have in front of me right now is the Phantom 3 Professional, identified by the gold bands on the front arms of the copter. The second model is known as the Phantom 3 Advanced, identified by silver metallic bands on the front arms of the copter. The Phantom 3 Professional is known as the more expensive, higher grade of the Phantom 3 series. However, both the Professional and Advanced models share all the new highlight features of the Phantom 3, except for one, which is camera resolution. One of the greatest improvements that DJI has made with the Phantom series is the ability for the Phantom 3 Professional model to shoot in amazing 4K, while the full resolution of the Advanced model is still at 1080p, but it did get a frame rate boost of up to 60 frames a second. Both cameras in the Phantom 3 series have an improved rectilinear lens that allows for more of a cinematic, flat-line horizon, less of a fisheye effect that we would see with GoPro cameras, as well as previous Phantom Vision models. So now that that's all lined out, let's get back to price. The Phantom 3 Professional and its ability to shoot in 4K is sold for $1,259, while the Advanced model and its ability to shoot in 1080p is sold for $999, which again is strikingly less than a brand new Phantom 2 Vision Plus just months ago. So the value that you get for the price of the Phantom 3 is definitely at the top of our list of improvements, and we haven't even talked about all the new features yet. The first of which is the integration of DJI's Lightbridge HD downlink FPV system, which was introduced into its first production copter in the Inspire 1. Now if this sounds complicated, all that it means is that your copter, your controller, and your smartphone or tablet are all equipped and connected to allow you to control settings and view what your camera is seeing in 720 high definition all on your screen via the DJI Pilot app, which leads us to our next greatest addition to the Phantom 3. The DJI Pilot app blew consumers away when it was released with the Inspire 1, and now it's available for the Phantom 3. This feature-packed advanced interface allows for a more refined pilot experience, and includes many of the same features and functions that were released with the Inspire 1, such as camera control, video playback, return to home, and a live GPS map, as well as indicators for satellite, radio control, and Lightbridge connectivity, and most importantly, battery life. In fact, with the Phantom 3, there are a couple new highlight features that were not available in previous versions of the application, like the director function, which allows you to create and edit the best shots from today's flight and instantly share it to platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And speaking of YouTube, the Phantom 3 has been released with the amazing ability to live stream footage from the camera directly through the app. In terms of performance, the Phantom 3 has been upgraded to dual GPS systems on board, which make use of both the US satellites as well as the Russian GONASS system in order to position itself much more accurately than ever before. This will guarantee safer flying experiences while adding less opportunity for malfunctions like the infamous Phantom flyaways. For the times that you don't have a clear GPS signal, the Phantom 3 has actually adapted technology from the Inspire 1 for its own vision positioning system. This new technology uses a trio of optical flow and ultrasonic sensors to identify patterns in the ground and adjust itself accordingly. This will assist with indoor flight as well as if you have weak GPS outside. It will also, of course, depend on what surfaces you may be flying over, but within 25 feet of the ground, this system is bound to be pretty precise. Now right next to it, you might not be able to see it from there, but DJI has extended the base of the legs of the Phantom 3 in order to prevent some of the tip-overs that people have experienced upon landing while flying the Phantom series. Some of you Inspire owners might recognize this controller. However, the Phantom 3 controller is a little bit different, but still shares some of the main features of the Inspire 1 controller. First thing you'll notice is the dual antennas that they've included in order to support light bridge on the controller. All the buttons and switches are much more seamless than, as you can see, the previous models of the Phantom controller. You have this very secure tablet or smartphone holder, as well as buttons for both recording, playback, and dials for when you need to change settings without having to use your fingers on the tablet while you're flying. The first thing you'll notice as a difference between this and the Inspire controller is it does not have an HDMI port on the back. This means that you'll not be able to hook up to a director's screen or a second viewing screen while you're flying. So that brings up another question. What's the difference between the Inspire 1 and the Phantom 3 if they share so many features? With the Inspire 1, there is a really big benefit to having the legs and the blades rise up from the camera and to have a 360-degree view. That's something that you cannot do with the Phantom 3. You have to move the copter in the direction of the view that it needs to see. But with the Inspire, you could do two dual controllers, have one person flying and the other one controlling the camera for harder, more dynamic shots. And that's the big difference between the two. In terms of features in the app, is very much the same. However, the ability to do a 360-degree following shot with the Inspire 1 is going to keep it in a league of its own. But if you're looking for the transportability of the Phantom series while getting 4K footage up in the air, this is the right choice, the Phantom 3. Now that covers all the greatest new features of this copter, but there's still some questions that need to be answered. Some of the Phantom 2 pilots are wondering whether their Phantom 2 batteries can be transferred to power the Phantom 3. But the quick answer to that is no, because the Phantom 3 uses a 15.2 volt battery in order to power its vision positioning system, light bridge, and the new efficient motors, while the Phantom 2 uses 11.1 volts, so they're not interchangeable. The second most common question is whether the Phantom 3 has the ability to do ground station, waypoint navigation, or some sort of follow me feature. Out of the box, the Phantom 3 does not have the ability to do these applications. However, it has the ability to support these applications through DJI's SDK development program. So it's only a matter of time before we see the Phantom 3 doing things we only dreamed possible. The last question is about flight time. DJI states that the Phantom 3 will fly up to 23 minutes. And based on our testing, it flies between 20 and 23 minutes, so this is a pretty conservative estimation on their part. So that's it, the full review of the Phantom 3 from DJI. Thanks for sticking around. We look forward to seeing you more on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you like all the new features of the Phantom 3 like we do, go ahead and pick one up at AerialMediaPros.com. We have them in stock and ready to ship, but until then, we'll see you next time.